Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming. Wow. It's always good to see you. I'm having a great day. I've got some challenges. Not everything's going the way that I think it should. People aren't acting right. These guys. But I'm here. I'm healthy. Got a pretty good life. Got some great friends. Bunch of shower door pros to hang out with. That always makes me feel better. So thanks, everybody, for showing up. Hope you're having a great week so far. About halfway through it, give or take. So that's good. Um, I see Christina's here. She always makes me smile. Christina, why don't you give us a little report about what's going on with the old co-op?
Sure. There's a lot going on. It's
Oh,
awesome. We had a really good meeting yesterday. So first update is we've come up with the fee structure for how this is going to work. So what this is actually going to cost. And I think that's largely what people are wanting to understand and know, and what they're really going to get out of it. So because this is still developmental, we're not asking for a ton. But there is a buy-in for the share price. So one share, one vote. So anybody who is a member of the co-op, the business entity would be the co-op member. And the member that is the business entity will get one vote. Nobody can buy extra votes, nothing like that. So it's all very fair, very evenly distributed. So
somewhat
each
democratic, right?
Yes, it's that's a great word to use. So very democratic. So in that is for the co-op business structure, the member share is non-taxable income for the co-op. So that's actually cash in the bank for the co-op that we can use towards growing the co-op without being taxed on it. So that's really exciting. Yay, co-ops. So that number for the buy-in share is $1,200. So each share will be $1,200. We don't anticipate that number changing too much over time, or anytime soon.
Mhm.
The membership, though, will be an annual fee. And that just ensures cash flow, annual membership. It allows us to grow and build the co-op, but that the annual membership fee is taxable income. And so for the first year, while we're getting set up, we are going to have no annual membership fee. So no $0 if you sign up for the co-op between now and the end of December. So that is a huge benefit. And we hope that if you haven't already filled out the form, the more extensive form that Rob sent out, and Rob, could you, if you don't mind, while we're talking about this, if you could post that link in the chat. I think it's just to the website in the form page. But that go ahead and fill that out if you have any interest in this at all. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to work together to build this network across the country. But again, that's a $1,200 share to buy in, and that's your member share, so that we're going into business together. And then the annual fee this year is $0. Next year it will be $600 for the year. And then after that, we anticipate it might go up slightly as the benefits continue to grow, evolve, and become more beneficial. And some of those benefits could include things like rebates on hardware, or things like discounts on insurance. So these are things that we're looking towards in the future, but those are the kinds of benefits that you can expect the co-op to bring to you. And also it's just a wonderful network, as well as a marketing platform on the website. And so we're actively building out the website, so that's exciting, which brings me to my next point. Does anybody have questions about the membership dues and how we arrived at these numbers or anything like that?
Yes. One comment.
Oh, great. Thanks, Dad.
Theoretically and potentially, if you wanted out, you can sell your share back. So there'll be more details later, but it's not like it's necessarily wasted membership. Okay, so theoretically, you bought a share of stock.
Yes, so the stock would be reimbursed within, I believe it's something like there's some time period. We
Yeah, I
haven't
think it's
defined that yet.
2 or 3 years, something like that.
Something
That
like
we
that.
have, if we need it, if we were to need it, like let's say we had, 1,000 members and 300 of them wanted to cash in all at once. It might be hard for us to do that. So it would be something built in that will allow us to do that over time. But nobody's going to do that. I mean, come on, $1,200 to buy in to like this co-op with Shower Door Pros. I mean, it's a steal. And then no membership fees for the first year. So the early adopters, the people who are going to be willing to jump in first and are going to be able to get that waived for the first year. And then like what, a measly $600 a year going forward. I mean, you could easily save more than that.
Right.
Just getting good deals like buying in bulk. It could be insurance, like Christine was saying. It could be advertising. I mean, we're going to be networking, and we're going to be using our website to promote all of us. So who knows? I mean, as you get one job, one shower door job, that covers your membership fees for the year, right? I mean, so it's an awesome opportunity. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, and we've also got that logo that you can put on all of your marketing materials. And so if somebody's looking at like a home magazine and they look at one shower door company on this page and your shower door company on this page, but you have the co-op and the check mark verified deal, they're going to be like, well, that's the one I'm going to call first because they have that fancy little check mark. So we've got all of that in the mix. And then obviously the website is coming up and all the resources associated with the website. So that's going to be coming. With that said, that's a great segue into, we are adding a second meeting. So the co-op board meets on Tuesday mornings, pretty darn early, but we're going to add a second meeting since we kind of need to hit the ground running on a lot of this stuff. It's going to be Thursday, 12 Eastern, which is 9 West Coast. So 9 a.m. for Chris on Thursday morning, lunchtime for me in Atlanta, Thursday, lunchtime. So if anybody would like, well, anybody's welcome to join that. That will become a committee. And I know we don't technically have members yet because we need to write the membership agreement, but we pretty much have that done.
We're close.
We're really close to having that done, but we have already vetted our first 3
We've started vetting. Yeah, we've actually started vetting members. So that's exciting.
Yeah, so if you filled out that form, we are actively working on vetting your membership. So we've only gotten through 3 so far, but we're working on that. And now that you all know what the fee structure is for the dues, it's also up to you to decide, obviously whether or not you want to be a part of this or not. But we'll be reaching out to you with like membership information, the agreement, how that all looks and works. Shannon is our, I guess, is she our treasurer or CFO?
Yeah.
Whatever we're gonna call her, but
she's the money lady.
She's the money lady. So Shannon's awesome, and she has a background as a certified public accountant. So she really knows her crap, and she is asking all of the right questions to the co-op accountant that has been helping us through the Georgia Cooperative Development Center. So we've got all of that on lock. So it's really going well. And we're super excited about all of it. And then any questions about anything I've said so far? Cool.
Yeah, Christina, I'll have a question, but why don't you finish and then we'll round back
All
to
right.
it.
Yeah. Cool.
Sure, sounds great. So if anybody wants to join that meeting, let me know. We would want you to fill out the form first, get membership, join that committee. Dues, new members, Glass Build. Okay, so at Glass Build, we're so excited. We're having a launch party. We're hoping to have a launch party. And we are thinking Monday evening of Glass Build. So that's the Monday, September 30th in the evening. And we're highly considering Topgolf, although I don't have any, that's still a little bit up in the air. But we are looking for partnerships and sponsors for that. If we have a lot of great irons in the fire for that, but if you know of anybody who would be interested or willing to like partner with us on that, please let us know. We'll be reaching out to a couple of our friends in the industry who have joined us on Shower Door Professionals to consider helping out with that. And then we can use that forum to explain more about what the co-op is, what it's going to do for the industry, how we want to use the co-op to enhance the industry. And also just all get together because I think we don't have that many opportunities to do that. So it'll just be a lot of fun.
Awesome. Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Thanks, Christina.
You're welcome. Any questions?
Okay, yes. So on that $1,200 to be a member, are you putting that in an escrow? That's a interest-bearing account, and then are you using that interest to consider that for your expenses and keep the $1,200 isolated in case people want their money back? You have it, or are you only keeping a percentage of it? Like,
So
are they giving you guidance on how many people may drop out, and you always have to have a slush fund of X amount?
They have not given us specific number guidance there, but it's we have guidance on that. Yeah. So I do wish Shannon was here because she'll know a lot more about the accounting aspects of it, but I can say that we will need some of the cash to operate. However, if a significant number of people were to drop all at one time, ideally, we've all worked together already enough that, you know, we could have a conversation before everyone just dropped all at once. But there is that built-in time period of 2 to 3 years to repay that share back. So we would have some time to get that money. I don't know how we would do that if everybody started dropping, but we would figure it out. It's all in my name, and I assure you that I will figure it out. I don't want to.
Are you
Well,
buying an
one thing
insurance
is-
policy?
I think one thing we need to kind of probably, and I probably shouldn't even brought that up about that, but I'm thinking that we ought to almost just consider it part of our advertising expense when it comes to your business, and just not be counting on that like it's going to be a stock that grows and becomes something. It's just, you know, it is something that I wouldn't expect to necessarily get back, although our goal is to be successful, and that it would be you know, the same face value that you purchased it, basically. So that's the goal. I wouldn't want to promise this as an investment other than an investment in advertising itself.
Mm-hmm. I have to apologize that I missed a couple of the meetings, but I know one of the questions we had is, Christina, you said that each entity could become a member, but I guess we were waiting, like, what is it considered to be an entity? For instance, we have our manufacturing arm, which is D3, which is separate from my shower door. Is that a separate entity, or is it because same ownership, so you only get one membership opportunity?
So while D3 is a separate entity, because it's a manufacturing entity, it would not be eligible to have membership. Membership is reserved for shower door professionals, which would be the install arm of a business. Okay,
so then portals and those are not members.
That's correct.
Okay, I thought you were leaning towards having portals as a member. Okay.
No,
not as
All right.
members, but
portals as a partner.
Yeah. Right,
We
right.
would
Perfect.
like to include portals as a partner. That's one of the irons in the fire. We've spoken with them about it. They're excited about it. They really like this group, but I
Mhm.
think it's a little bit with all of these partnerships, it's a little bit chicken or the egg. They need to see membership before they can figure out what they want to do. And we need to show partnership before we can get members. So I would love it if you all would want to become members just out of the kindness of your hearts. And so we're trying to also provide as much value up front as we possibly can without relying on that vendor arm. But ideally, we would have vendor partners that would be able to provide things like rebates or bulk quantity discounts. And that would also become a revenue stream for the cooperative, which can fund our marketing and advertising so that our membership dues can be less. Because once again, a cooperative is not a for-profit organization. So any money that we make at the end of the year goes back out to you all as a distribution in your escrow account. So it's not taxed.
Okay. Very good. From your sign up list, how many do you have that have already committed that they want to sign in?
So we have, I think about 60 people filled out the original interest form, something along those lines, 60 people, I think. Only 11 have filled out the new form. That's a little bit longer. So I understand why there's a little bit of form fatigue there. And also we haven't discussed money. We had not discussed money previously. And so I think people are a little timid about signing on for something or giving that level of information if they don't know how much it's going to cost. So I hope that by sharing this information, you all feel more comfortable filling out the form.
So the form that Rob just put up there, is that the new form or the old form?
That's the new form.
All right, so I'm looking at that now.
It
Okay.
should be several pages and it will
Yeah.
ask you all kinds of things, including your employee identification number or not, your tax ID number and all kinds of things about how many W-2 employees do you have? How many 1099 employees do you have? Do you have a showroom? Are you an NGA member? And once again, not one of these things is a, you can't sit with us kind of question. We're just trying to get an overall sense of your business so that we understand kind of a little bit how you're structured, what you specialize in, make sure you are truly a shower door professional. You're not, an auto glass guy, right? Not that they can't hang out too, but we have a certain purpose and we want to be able to serve our members properly. So we have to have the right types of members. And then
Yeah, and our
Yeah.
goal too is to add just a ton of value to the industry. So when people initially join up, I think the first thing that we want to do is just start to network and start to be able to establish, okay, this is where we're at. This is where we're located across the country. And this is how we can, send each other business. I mean, I get people contact me all the time from other areas, and I'll go on the Facebook group and be like, hey, is there anybody in, Minnesota or whatever, somebody's looking for a shower door. And a lot of times I don't hear anything back. I mean, most of the time I don't. But it would be awesome. That would be the number one thing, is just to be able to have a kind of a map with little pins on it, showing, okay, this is where we're at. And to have those areas fill in and be able to do that. And then each member is going to have like a page on the website. So all these questions, this kind of data that we're gathering, we'll be able to include there so people can look and see, oh, here's somebody in my area, and how big are they, and how long have they been in business in our area, and what kind of reviews do they have. That'll be a big part of it too. And then if we want to promote that website, which we will, we'll be able to kind of pool our resources to do that and get the most bang for our buck. And as our numbers grow, these other partnerships that we want to form with people, we haven't made any specific asks or offers to anybody. We just kind of vaguely talked about the idea of, hey, you know, would you like to be involved in this this new enterprise with us, and kind of figure out what that's going to look like as we go forward. So yeah.
Hey, Chris,
Yeah.
can I chime in here?
I wish you
So
would.
sorry, I had to show
Right.
up late and leave early. I
Okay.
wasn't even planning on logging on, but yeah, money wise. So I want to respond to that. When you give us your initial buy-in, you are buying shares of stock. Stock has value. However, we will be taking that money and we will be putting it to use. We will put it into the co-op. We will be making our website. We'll be, getting these collaborations going. We'll, in the future, we want these to be referral sites. So we have to do Google AdWords. We have to make everything spectacular. We have to have things for our potential homeowners to see and appreciate and like. When you are starting up your own company, when you start your glass shop, you take your little kitty and you put it into the company, and you don't just hide it away over in the corner while you try and get things going. You put that to use. It's called bootstrapping, and it's what we're going to be doing as a co-op too. So those shares are intended to have value and keep value, but that value is going to be built up over time. If you've ever been involved in a small business and you invest in a small business, you need to plan on that money being invested for a while. But you do it because you really see the value and you think it's going to grow. There was mention about what are the benefits going to be, and we kept on talking about vendors, but I want to mention some of the things we had. Sorry, I'm looking over at my little list over here. Affiliation with a brand, industry recognition, things like being able to do awards and spotlights. We are all in an industry that goes completely unnoticed by the world. So this is our ability to say, we're a glass shop. We're part of this co-op. See our logo? That means something. We've got some cachet behind us. We've got people that we work with. We've been, vetted. And I didn't know if you guys wanted to talk about what we were planning for the actual member criteria.
Sure, we can talk about that if you'd like. I mean,
talk about that. Yeah, so let me actually pull that up so I'm not speaking out of turn. But I'm glad that you said all of that, Shannon, because I think let me see, V1 bylaw starter kit. The other thing that I think the co-op can do while I'm pulling this up is we've all heard Connor Locar's economic forecasts. We all were alive in 2008. I think we all know that what can happen and have some fears about what does. I think it's really worth banding together as much as we can as soon as possible, because if we do have some economic downturns towards the end of the decade, I think by working together, we might be able to insulate ourselves and protect our businesses from going under. I really do. Especially if we're able to get things like quantity discounts and help each other navigate a new industry or a new world. I mean, things are changing so rapidly. So I think by working together the way that we have, we can see some real benefits. And I think the co-op can really help. An entity dedicating time to business development is incredible. So as far as membership development membership requirements, we said we recommend the businesses have been in existence for at least 3 years. And the reason for that is a business that hasn't been established for at least 3 years probably has a heck of a lot more going on trying to get their business set up than needing to join a co-op and get more referrals. They need to establish a reputation. That also protects existing members from competing within the co-op against people who are the chucks in a truck. Are there any questions about that? Okay. Must install shower doors, cannot be manufacturing only, and must be shower door specialists by revenue. And that just, again, protects us from like somebody who only does storefront, or somebody who only does auto glass, or somebody who, I don't know, does cabinetry and sometimes has glass involved. So we just want to actually specialize in what we specialize in, because it's a specialty.
At least 50%.
At least 50%. More than half your revenue from shower doors, or at least 3 shower doors a week.
Looks like Daniel's got a question. You have a question, Daniel?
They're kind of answering it as just now, but I was going to say, like, so 50% of your business or 3 shower doors a week. And then how are you guys asking for verification of that, essentially?
That's a good question. We're not asking for verification on that. I think that, well, we haven't really come up with a way to do that. And a lot of it is.
There's going to be a lot of stuff we can verify, right? And we're going to, that's what we're vetting, is stuff like, you know, people's licensing, their reputation. We can check and see what your reviews are. You know, you can check and see, you know, if you're in good standing.
I like the 50% number. I feel like for somebody that's been in business for 3 years or longer, 3 shower doors a week is probably pretty low, I would think, to be a professional.
Yeah, we haven't actually set this in stone yet, so I'm a little weary of actually going over this. So, but I am inclined to agree. But if you're yeah.
And
the more people
too.
And this is why,
because we do more than just shower doors. So I was curious, is like the percentage by revenue kind of thing, which you answered, so that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, greater than 50%. It needs to be majority. I suppose that if you did 50% shower doors and 50% other stuff, and you're a one-man band and you've been in business for 3 years, you could, in theory, only do 3 shower doors a week and then 3 of something else a week, or 1 big commercial job or something like that. So that, I guess, that still exists as an option, but
to be determined at this point.
yeah, there's more though. There's a lot more. So we would like a Google business page needs to probably exist. If it doesn't, that's a little concerning, I guess, since Google kind of rules the world. Google advertising is also starting to do ad verifications. So it's not a requirement because they have their own kinks to work out. But since Google is such a large entity verifying businesses, if you are Google verified as a business, that speaks volumes in the sense that you already have the documentation Google would require to back you. So why wouldn't we, as far as being a legitimate business?
Yeah, it does some of our work for us as far as verification goes, right?
Right. There's every state has different requirements too. So Google kind of helps us with that. So we would recommend, if you'd like to join this co-op and you don't have a Google business page, or you haven't claimed your business on Google, we would certainly recommend doing that. And that's just good for business anyway.
reach out to us, we'll help you do it.
Yeah, for
absolutely.
sure. You must have a website. I think that's pretty straightforward. I'm not sure if you only have a Facebook page. We haven't talked about that, but I could see how somebody might only have a Facebook page. I would probably also want them to have a website, though. but we haven't talked about that.
That's
So,
pretty minimal. I mean, having a website, I mean, it doesn't have to be a big, great thing, but that's pretty minimal, you know?
people need to be in compliance with their state or local regulations. That is a lot for us to verify. We are very largely relying on you all for that, to disclose those things. But it is something, most of that information is public for us, and we will be able to verify it once we have enough members to start a
Right.
membership committee.
Right. And we'll be kind of keeping an eye on each other, right? I mean, once you're bought in to the co-op, you've got ownership in it. So all of the members are going to be, you know, keeping an eye on things and taking care of each other. That's the whole point. So it won't be just like a couple of people, you know, tracking everything down. It'll be everybody kind of working together on it.
Yeah, we want to protect our reputations and our businesses and lift everybody up to it too. Like bring everybody in that is ready to be brought in as they're able, as they're ready. If there are franchises or multiple locations, this is a little bit tricky. We were originally thinking by tax ID number, but if you're thinking of like my shower door versus like Glass Doctor, it's a little bit tricky. So all to say, each franchise location would have to be like, if it's a franchise owned by a different like owner, it would have to be vetted separately, because that's a different owner of the franchise, if that makes sense. And they'd have a different reputation and presumably run things a little bit differently in their locale. Now, Bill, as my shower door, even though he has multiple locations, he would still be one entity. So that's kind of how that works, but it kind of is on a case-by-case basis. And I don't think there are that many of us with multiple locations, so that's not too terrible for us to go through.
Right.
Any questions about that part? Okay. We would ideally love a reference from somebody else in the group. If you're already a part of the group and we already know you, that's awesome. But if you're not a part of this group and you're a total stranger to us, we would probably do some kind of interview or meet, like a Zoom call, and just chat with you. We want to get to know people, and we want to make sure that we're going into business with the right people. It's almost like interviewing for a job, but just interviewing to be business partners. And it really helps if somebody from the group is familiar with you, knows you, and can kind of vouch for you. Warranty period. Everyone in the group must have at least a 1-year warranty, and or some kind of be in compliance with any state required warranty. We can't be responsible for your warranty work. So we are not requiring a specific warranty, but you have to have at least 1 year of coverage. If there's improper work or installation or damage, the co-op can't be liable. If somebody reports that to us, a homeowner reports like any kind of poor installation or misbehavior or anything like that, you know, it's something that we'll note. That doesn't necessarily mean you'll be kicked out or anything. It's just something that we'll keep note of, and we'll
The sergeant at arms will be in touch.
Yeah, we'll
Have
investigate
a little
and
chat with you.
yeah, but like ultimately, like your business is still your business, and it's on you to
Right.
take care of your business and your reputation. If somebody's reputation dips below a certain point, like on Google reviews, we would want to have some kind of probationary period and some kind of like conversation about that, figure that out. But that doesn't necessarily mean you're kicked out either. It's just like, we need to figure out what's going on with you. And if we can help and fix it and get it all back and squared away, then awesome, you know? And if it continues to go downhill or if it continues to not be where it needs to be, we have the right as a co-op board to suspend membership or terminate membership. Which you would then, I guess, depending on the circumstances, you would or wouldn't get your share back, but I believe we would still probably
Yeah, I think
Oh,
we
yeah.
would.
pay
Probably,
your
yeah.
share
Sure.
back.
Yeah.
So,
It's not hardcore. It's just we have to protect our brand.
mhm.
That's all. The co-op brand.
Right, exactly.
Google reviews, we would prefer them be above 4 stars. Now, if you have one review and it's a 1-star review, like that's just not enough information. And we would, if you have one review and it's a 5-star review, that's great, but that's still not a ton of information. So there is a quantity element here. We'd like to see, you know, a number of reviews. We don't have a specific number in mind, but there's got to be some kind of reputation associated. And if you've been in business for more than 3 years, we would expect some kind of reputation. Whether that's on Yelp or Google or Nextdoor, Facebook, you know, we've got to be able to prove your reputation in your industry, in your area.
I had a question about that real quick.
Yeah.
So I've been in business for, I guess, about 12 or 13 years. And I'd say like 98% is home builders. So I've really not had to deal with advertising or getting Google reviews because they don't give me any. What's the recommendation there?
I guess my question would be, and maybe this is naive, but why don't they give you reviews? Like even our contractors give us reviews.
I've never asked.
Wow, there you go.
There you
We'll
go.
get you
Make
some.
You just got to make it really easy for them to give you
Yeah.
reviews. You could
Yeah.
you could run.
I
especially
could.
If you were to go to them and say, hey, you know what? I found out that this thing they call reviews and everybody's got them. Like, would you give me one? I'm sure they would all
Yeah.
help, you know?
I'm sure they would.
Yeah.
It's a good
It's a
question.
great
Like,
question.
it's
They would. We have that same issue, not to that extent, but I have actually asked a few that we worked with for a while, and they'll do it. They'll do it if you know, if you're just bored one day and you want to send them a link to send you a review, they'll do it. I mean, especially if they like you.
Right.
So they'll do it. But nobody thinks about it. Like we don't think about asking our builders to leave us a review, honestly. At least I don't. And it sounds like you don't either.
No.
We ask everyone once. Our automations are set up to ask builders only once. If you don't ask builders more than once, you will find out real quick how much they don't enjoy that.
Yeah.
another thing is our guys sometimes have gotten stuck in a house. There's other contractors in the bathroom. They're waiting in the driveway or something, shuffling cars, and you know, the designer or the contractor, the home builder, or whatever, they feel so bad. They're like, sorry, we're wasting your time. Oh my gosh, sorry. And our guys are just like, well, you know, if you want to leave us a review while we're sitting here waiting, that'd be great. You know,
That's
then
awesome.
yeah. So, I mean, and contractors are more than willing to do it because they're like, hey, will you leave me a review too? And it's like, heck yeah, we will. Your tile work's awesome. You make our job easy. Like, of course. So that's a good way to help with reviews. And another way to get reviews is sign up for something. There are several like services. I know a lot of people use Podium. I think Bill uses Podium. I know that's a little pricey, but that is a really good service. And then that's more for homeowners. Yeah. We might have to revisit that a little bit, but it's worth talking about. I think it's a really good topic.
Yeah, but if you primarily have home builders as your base, might be good to diversify your base and get more homeowners too, especially if the economy starts to dip. You know, it might be a good idea to diversify that customer.
Yeah. I think I've focused on them and got a good relationship with builders just due to I'm in a unique circumstance, you know, because I'm a fireman and I have the business. So it's having the builders, I get more leeway as far as a homeowner's not nagging me to get their shower in because I'm the last guy in there. So
Yeah.
I've got a lot more time with builders, and that's why I've always just stuck with that. But it's getting to the time now where I should start thinking about getting other options.
Yeah, and I think this is what right here is one of the benefits of a co-op. You know, that what we're talking about right here. It's like, well, I never really thought about that. You know, and seeing how other people in the group are benefiting from different practices and are willing to help you, you know, get those things set up, or, you know, I mean, this is a perfect example of it. And we talked a lot about, as a steering committee, about how we can offer value, not just to our members, but people who are not quite, you know, a member. People like, what if somebody doesn't qualify to actually join the co-op? How can we still help them? Or like, how can we add value to just the homeowners? How can we add value to contractors? How can we add value to our suppliers? You know, and so I think membership is just one part of what we're really going to accomplish here. I think we're going to do amazing things for the industry at large, you know, and all of us here. That's the reason we're here. I mean, nobody comes here on Wednesday evening to hang out with a bunch of glass nerds, unless, you know, you're really pretty into this thing, right? So, yeah, I think that we're really here more than anything else because we love the industry and we want to give something back. And this is a great opportunity to do that.
If we get enough people in the network, then we might get noticed by somebody big like a Floor and Decor, you know, and then that would be more leads coming in, and that would be available to people in the co-op.
Or a Costco, or I don't know if you all have noticed this, but I think we've talked about this, but Home Depot just bought CR Home, which has locations all up the East Coast. And so large entities, large conglomerates like a Home Depot are looking for these local businesses to represent, you know, their locale. And so that Home Depot can offload some of their services like this that they maybe don't do as well, or aren't as profitable in, or can't control as much. So that, I think this is a nice area for us to be in for sure. The last one that I have right in front of me is participation. So we would, I don't know that it's necessarily required. I know we're all trying to run businesses, but we are also all trying to improve the industry, and we need some participation. So whether that means you participate by submitting a couple of blog posts a year, or add photos to the gallery.
Yeah, photos are always good.
And that would have your logo on it. I mean, and your name, your business name on all of those things. And so that's another link, backlink. That's another, like, this person knows what they're talking about. And we haven't totally done all of the design for the business page, but Chris, can I share my screen?
Yeah, sure. I think you're allowed to.
Okay.
Let me know if you have any trouble.
Thank you. Let me see. Share. Okay. This is here. All right. So this is really ugly. Can everybody kind of see this?
Yes.
Okay. We haven't gone over this as a group, but I put this together yesterday as kind of the potential wireframe ideas, options, and inspiration for how people would locate us as businesses on the website. So this is for Rob as he's building the website, and we can talk about this more in the meeting tomorrow. But this is the Alumax dealer locator screen. We get some leads from this, not a ton, but we do get leads from this. And they just put in their zip code and find a dealer on the map. So that's an option. We can also do something like a Yelp. I don't know if this probably is not very big. But now you can't see anything, so that's cool. We could do something like a Yelp. So this is kind of a couple of Yelp screenshots, but I took, you do like the shower door professional search, and you can search your city, your zip, or your state, something like that. And then instead of it saying restaurants, home services, auto services, you could say like services offered, and they could tick off like, do you offer wine rooms, shower doors, whatever else, what other offerings they're looking for. So they could have some sub filter categories, or if you're looking for somebody who tempers, you can find a tempering facility too. And then we'd have like the businesses listed here. Oops, sorry. Businesses all listed here, and there'd be like a teaser, kind of like you'd see just this teaser. And then I think that these should show, they can show reviews, but instead of reviews or in addition to reviews, it shows, you get a thing if you're on the board. It says like board member and like a little star. And then if you temper, it says like tempers their own glass or something like that. If you're a member of the NGA, you'll have a little thing that says NGA member. So like as you start accumulating all these
little badges, sort of.
Yeah.
Cool.
And so if you're searching for people in the same market, it's not like, if Daniel is a part of the co-op and we're a part of the co-op in the same market, it's Daniel's is going to say, offers closets or something, and like home builder, whatever, whereas we specialize in residential. So we kind of offer different things, and it kind of shows those badges and like really gives you a high level glimpse of who that business is. And so that's kind of the whole deal. And if they have a showroom, etc., which is not required, but we would require a brick and mortar location. Now, and then this would be like a full built out business page. This is just what I took from our like Apple business profile or something. But this is kind of what it would look like. You see how it has like the verified, but it would be our verified logo. It has your business logo. It has like whatever banner photo of a shower door or whatever. It can have your business information, kind of like a Google business profile, kind of like this, but it can also show the photos that you've contributed to the website. So your work that's on the website, and it can show your blog posts that you have written for this website. And so it kind of shows your involvement in the community and in the shower door professionals community, and bolsters your visibility on the website and just, reputation.
Are we looking to have thousands of pictures? Because I can imagine that if people are submitting, 100 pictures each, and we get, 100, 200, 300 people involved or companies involved, then it could be quite a few pictures.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think there would have to be it might be a little bit difficult because we might get a lot of pictures, but we might not post every picture, especially if it doesn't follow the guidelines of the NGA. That could open up some questions. So we have to be really careful with that. So that's something that the committee would be responsible for. So we plan to have like a marketing committee. We plan to have a website committee. It could be like, if it gets big enough, we could have a blog committee. We could have a gallery committee instead of a website committee as a whole. That might have to be split. So it just depends on how we grow.
Yeah, well, I just don't want to, I'm just thinking, would it be overwhelming to the consumer if there's thousands, or is that great? I mean, you think Pinterest and Houzz, they have a lot. So there's a lot to digest.
It could be great, as long as it's filterable like ours.
Yeah.
And as long as the filters make sense. I mean, they need to make sense to a consumer. And half the time homeowners are like, well, I want a shower that has green tile. So it's like you know, we need to make sure the filters make a little bit of sense and are a little bit specific. So we'll talk through that.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen now, but are there
Well,
any?
that looks good.
Yeah, yeah, I love it. And I like the idea of like the badges, you know, like even if you contribute photos, you could have a little photo contributor badge. If you write for the blog, you could have a little blog contributor badge, whatever. So you can really rack them up. I can see Bill with like, you know, just lines and lines of badges.
Now, I assume for Bill, he would still have that tempering badge, even though it's a different entity, you know?
Yeah,
That would
yeah.
be nice for him.
Yeah, however it's split up, I mean, same ownership group though, I presume, and you know, yeah.
Mhm.
So Bill has a question. He posted it in the chat. He's asking if anyone purchases and installs bulletproof glass.
I've been interested in knowing, but no.
I'll tell you what, you better have a lot of guys to pick that crap up. That thing is heavy. I've done a few in courthouses, Supreme courthouses, and where they go and pay and stuff. Man, that stuff is heavy. You better have some guns on you before you do that.
Who's your supplier for that, Adrian?
CRL does it, and then there's another one. So when we get ours from CRL, like with the frame built, the glass already comes with it. So it comes separately, but you got to put it together and stuff. And
They have all different levels of glass since there's a lot of different levels.
Yeah, and then we deal with fire rated glass. Yeah, that stuff is that's next tier stuff. Yeah, that's
You know, that would be a good thing for the co-op, you know, to have somebody like a Sierra Lawrence or maybe somebody else who just specializes in something like that to be, you know, included as a vendor for the co-op.
Well, and a lot of schools are looking at doing bulletproof glass now too, and so
I think Old Castle does it too.
We've got the equipment to make it. I just wanted to know what their makeups were. So I wanted to talk to somebody because you're right. There's different levels and they call it ballistic glass and it could be level 1 through level 9. But I just wanted to see if anybody has a local supplier. There's a few that Max Perlstein have given to me. I just wanted to pick their brain on it.
Nice.
I mean, we've got an autoclave big enough to make everything. We got the clean room and I already saw in the US Glass that I think it was Delaware has it as a bill that the governor's to sign that they're going to require it in all schools and public buildings. All new schools, any renovation schools and any public buildings. So it's a great market for us, even if we just make it and give it to somebody else and ship it or install it. But just figuring that there's a lot of glass professionals here that have been in the business a long time. Don't know if you have any of your suppliers that make it.
Yeah, it's a special technique you gotta have. It's a lot of work, especially the frame. Like our frames, they have concrete in it, and just the frame itself, moving it around, it's no joke.
Yeah, but some of the
But good
schools.
thing I don't do that no more. I do shower doors now, so the other guys do that. I just do shower doors.
I get you.
I'll go over there. I'll go in and tell somebody what to do. I'll show them how to do it, but I ain't carrying that crap no more. No way. I did it for many years.
No, I was asking more on the fabricator end of it, you know, to know the formulas and the different layouts. Okay. I mean, I can get it, some of it through NGA. I guess a lot of it through the NGA, but I'd like to talk to actual fabricators who've been doing it. As you know, you can read the installation guide, but all of your experience is going to blow away that installation guide.
That's right.
I have a piece in the back of my shop that my dad reminds me of that I broke one time on the job. And go, we're going to throw that away. I go, nope. I'm like, okay. Costs a lot of money.
You got to put a handle on it when you go in for your collections. You and Junior go to collect money. Just keep that as a shield.
Right. It's a family heirloom now.
Yeah, right. It is. You put your logo on it.
Yeah, they don't let that thing go. That's a reminder. I'm like, all right, whatever.
All right. Thanks for bringing that up, Chris. I know our time was running out and I figured I'd throw it in the chat before.
No, I appreciate that. That's good. It's a good question.
Thank you.
What else? Any other questions before we go? Got a couple more minutes.
I just wanted to let everyone know that if they didn't qualify for anything, as we are figuring out the exact criteria for everyone, that our goal is to help everyone that even doesn't qualify learn what they need to do to qualify, and not just leave them in the dark. Like, sorry, you've only been in business 2 years. It's like, oh no, sorry, you've only been in business 2 years. In the next 5 months, it looks like you'll be eligible. Here's what you need to do to get your profile verified, and here's the steps for everything else you might be missing. So we want to serve as a guiding light to people of the kind of business they want to be, the criteria they need to meet, and how they can get there, because we want more people to fulfill this criteria, to have this brand, to have this reputation. We want people who don't meet this criteria to not shine and survive and steal your jobs by underbidding you, because customers will be able to know from a simple search, because of our SEO recognition, where reputable companies can be found and other people that can direct them to them. So that's kind of our goal with enhancing everyone's participation. And what y'all can do to help us is simply fill out the form at showerdoorprofessionals.com or showerdoorprofessionals.com/signup. That's the 38 question form. And the more people that fill that out, the better we'll understand who's interested, where they are in their business, and where our criteria that we've created, how well it's matching the actual people that are interested. And we can modify more at the beginning in our meetings, instead of understanding that there's a large audience and they need different criteria to get in the group with us, because we want everyone to feel included, but there's going to be we're upping the ante on shower door professionals and the reputation and what it means to be a professional for the industry as a whole. That's
Real quick, what about a name change? I started my business in 2009 and I just changed it like last year.
No, yeah, that's not going to matter.
That's fine, right?
Yeah, that's not going to matter at all. We know who you are.
Don't you investigate me and find out that I'm lying.
We're going to investigate.
It's not that crazy, I promise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening to our little spiel. We're really excited about this, and I know it's such a weird thing, and there's a lot of unknowns, so we're growing this all together. So as you have questions, please reach out.
Yeah.
We're happy to answer anything that you are curious about. It's not a stupid question.
Yeah. Think about joining us on Thursday, on the Thursday meeting. You know, come and give some feedback, see where you can get plugged in. Maybe we've got someplace for you to volunteer. The new form is not like a grueling long, like 20-minute fill out. It's nothing like that. It's just like, it's like, I don't know, what would you say, Rob, 5 minutes or 10 at the most to fill out? So
yeah, like a 5-minute form.
Yeah,
none of the fields are required. So if you want to blank over all of them, you can.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
That's
Please.
really easy if you fill it out like that. Skip every question. Boom. Got it, you know.
That makes my research a lot harder, doesn't it? Please don't do that, but
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
that's okay.
I'm sure some of those fields are.
If anybody's interested in joining tomorrow's meeting, let me know. You can message me on Facebook, or you can just raise your hand here. I'll go ahead and add your email to the meeting. It's just a Google Meet, so very simple.
Well, thank you for all you're doing.
You're welcome. Thanks for your
Indeed.
questions.
All right, everybody. Thanks so much. Have a great rest of the week.
Thank you, Chris.